Pedro Rodrigues Filho, born in 1954 in Santa Rita do Sapucaí, Brazil, was a man whose very name would later send shivers through law enforcement and criminals alike. From a young age, he witnessed brutality and loss, and by the time he was a teenager, he had already begun a life of violent retribution. Pedrinho Matador, as he came to be called, killed his first targets in his early teens, those he blamed for the suffering of his family, local criminals who preyed on the weak, anyone he deemed deserving of his brutal justice. But what began as revenge soon spiraled into something far darker, a compulsion that turned him into one of Brazil's most notorious serial killers. Over decades, he claimed to have killed more than 70 people, with some estimates suggesting his final count was closer to 100. His methods were relentless: knives, firearms, strangulation, whatever was at hand, whatever would ensure death. Some victims were criminals themselves, others innocent bystanders, and in some cases, he left taunting messages for authorities, daring them to catch him. Pedro's life behind bars was equally chaotic. He spent decades in prison, where he often continued his violent ways, killing inmates and becoming a legend among both criminals and law enforcement. Despite being imprisoned, his notoriety only grew, with stories of his cunning, ruthless methods spreading across Brazil. What makes his story both horrifying and bizarre is the morality he claimed to uphold. He saw himself as an avenger, punishing evil, while leaving a trail of blood that few could reconcile. His eventual release in later years, after decades behind bars, left a nation both terrified and fascinated, as debates raged about whether he was a monster, a vigilante, or some impossible combination of both. Pedro Rodrigues Filho's tale is a relentless reminder that violence can breed more violence, that vengeance can consume morality, and that sometimes the man who lives next door, who grew up in a small town with a difficult childhood, can leave a mark on the history that is impossible to ignore, a trail of terror stretching from the streets of Brazil to the annals of criminal infamy.